What's up, you guys? Joe Dubby here. We are back at it again with another EX-03 this time deck profile slash gameplay. I'm playing red purple Imperial in a new way kind of that I'm testing right now. It is the red base because I really wanted to try and access the Sec +1 Greymons as the tertiary level 4. So a little bit bricked here, so I end up playing the Greymon, and I'm facing D-Brigade X3, which is pretty much D-Brigade according to my opponent Chris as previous. Just you run the new Darkdramon and some of the new commanders that are there as well. But he's gonna get some early checks here. That's pretty cool. And yeah, it looks like I'm not in the best spot right now for our game 1, and I get dropped to 1 memory here with the 4-cost Commandra. So I remember being quite bricked here. So game 1 and game 2, I try my best to show you guys and showcase to you guys how good Imperial is and try to get into the combos, but game 3 is where we really get there. So for now, I'm just gonna go through game 1, 2, and 3, and we'll kind of dive into the whole thing throughout the video. So I hard play the Imperialdramon here, and in situations like this is where I think Chimeramon becomes really important, because Imperialdramon and Dinobimon need purple Digimon to level to be able to Jogress Evo. So Chimeramon actually can assist with getting into the Jogress much quicker, allowing you to go into Imperial, which is kind of nice. So even when you have 2 level 4s that are red or purple, if you play the purple base. So for the eggs, I actually have Gurimon because I like to swing when I've already Jogressed. I don't really like to swing too early, and by the time I've Jogressed, I'm definitely over 6k, so I'll get the free draw, and that draw could be good. You know, if I draw into the fighter mode, then we're in a really good spot. So I understand that there's gonna be a situation where I'm gonna have to swing with these low level dudes. Especially in D-Brigade, I think the success rate or survivability rate is rather high, as showcased by this game. I end up surviving. Sometimes you just have to swing and Crimson Blaze and pray. So Crimson Blaze was really nice at that time. I think it was a very well-timed Crimson Blaze because I stopped the Commandramon from playing any other Commandra through its on deletion effect. I thought, what better time than now? So Kazu actually puts him to 2 here and is able to swing with that Commandra. So I know the strat. If I can keep you at 1 memory, Kazu will put you to 2, and I don't think I don't think the D-Brigade player will be able to quite get there for the Darkdra. So I'm doing my best here, just trying to hang on. And I believe I just swing. Yeah, I literally just swing out, and while the Greymon dies, I believe the Flame Rod does survive, and it's a matter of figuring out how to answer this board state. And I go into Shadra here in the back for 2, which is really nice because I'm setting him to 1. I don't mind the swing here. I actually do not mind the pain of this swing. It's pretty high pressure. Without 3 memory, even if you've got the 5, you're not going to be able to Darkdramon for 3. So I feel like I'm in a pretty decent spot here. He's going to go for the swing. He's going to hit the Shadramon. Unable to get a blocker Commandra, which means I am in a pretty good spot to just straight up swing here. I didn't even catch it until the end, which is hilarious because for some reason I thought I needed 2 swings to win the game. But he just relies on security here, putting me to the least amount of memory. I think with what you've got, this is the best play possible. So Chris is definitely playing this deck very well. Unfortunately, like against D-Brigade, if I'm swinging with my 5k dudes, chances are I'm gonna survive. So I try to draw into a Jogress, but I'm not able to do it. And I'm actually a 7k Shadramon swinging, and even if the Tankdramon dies, it's still able to win the game with the Flamedramon. So game 2 here, we get to see some Imperial shenanigans finally, and I hope I get to showcase. I think I will get to showcase the red base and its benefits either in this game or the 3rd game, so stay tuned. And obviously there's a deck profile at the end of this, so enjoy. Goes into the Grumblemon, not the ideal hand here seen by the Commandra, but I go into the Toy Agu, which I really want to hard play, but at 2 memory it's just too awkward. So I go into the Vmon, which is a good hard play because I get to trash a free or an Imperial and draw 2. Also putting him at 1 memory is really good. Guys, if you like this content, don't hesitate to like and subscribe. It really helps me with the algorithm. I love comments, suggestions, anything like that. It really helps me kind of build my channel. I'm really trying to build myself as a Digimon TCG kind of like content creator. Bandai notice me. Card game players notice me. Just kidding. So very good swing, survives with a grumble, pretty high survivability rate. And goes into the Pride Memory Boost, dropping the Hoguru, and this is where it really hurts, because the Hoguru is actually a really good drop, because you're going to get to draw 2 here, and, you know, you're just going to want to swing with all these Digimon. Like, there isn't a single Digimon in D-Brigade that makes you want to sit on it for a turn, so, unless you're running the blockers, which I highly doubt. But we go into the Imperialdramon here. I try to top deck the, well, any Digimon really, but the Flamedramon does not work, so I'm still deciding, really, because I can actually trigger the DNA. I can trigger either one of these effects that Shadramon has, and I think I end up doing it, and I end up going into the Shadra anyway, putting him to 1. Unfortunately, obviously, with the Shadra, if I had Chimera in this situation, you can trigger the newly Digivolved Shadramon into DNA Digivolving into Chimera. But since they're both purple, so we're getting a judge to clarify whether I actually have to resolve both of these effects, or either of these effects, and it's mandatory to resolve one of them, so you have to pick one. So I resolve this one, try to draw into the Chimera, and it doesn't work out. So because I don't draw into the Chimera, I'm unable to Jogris using the newly Digivolved Shadras when Digivolving effect. So he's just gonna be at 1, which isn't bad, but I've got 2 Digimon that can't DNA Digivolve apart from having a Chimera on the board, which is stinky. But that's okay. We try to ride it out. So yep, he's just gonna go for the super aggro swings here, as per usual with D-Brigade. I hit Crimson Blaze, which is really nice. I'm yawning. The Crimson Blaze was nice. Kazu putting me to 2. So really looking for a way out here. There's nothing to really do but to swing out as per game 1 and try to see if we can win this thing. Yep, so I survived both, which is really clutch, but I really want that Chimera. So it's not gonna happen. Put him to 1 with the missed memory boost because I've got the double Shadra, trash 2, draw 1. Still no Chimera. This is why I've actually upped the Chimeramon to 2. The deck profile I'm showing you is the exact profile that I'm playing with right now. So make your own adjustments as you see fit, but I'm definitely upping my Chimera to 2, and I'm cutting either one of the Digimon that need to be cut, basically. Nice. So pretty good stuff here. Gets the nice Commandramon out, and this is a dangerous spot for me because, you know, obviously he could potentially get that swing in, play another Commandra, and the aggression just continues. But for some reason goes into the Sealsdramon, probably wants to solidify the jamming swing here. Oh, Missimon gives it reboot, which is nice. I think that's what happened. Oops, someone hit the camera. At 4K, I can swing over this, but once again, I believe it has reboot, so I'm not going to be able to swing over it, which is stinky. So Pride to 3 here. I believe he's going to go into Tankdramon, honestly. Yep, so Tankdramon, and then he's going to try to go for the free Commandra play. And there is indeed a Commandramon that is played. So lethal is basically secured here without the need for the Darktra. And it gives Commandramon Rush as well, which is super insane. And I get Kongu'd, and this is where the problem happens. So that Kongu is actually a huge problem because my Shadramon with the Vmon inheritable could actually swing over that Commandra, and I'd at least be able to at least only have one problem to deal with. Actually, I can't even do that because Kongu's on the board. So I don't really know what I do here. I think I have to Jogris into something, and I try to figure out what to Jogris into. Boy, it's it's not gonna be easy. Even at 4 memory, I don't think my hand is fit. I didn't see a Chimera in my hand based on what I was looking at the fan, or maybe I did. I don't know. Oh, there it is. So I do see the Chimera, which is cool. Very clutch, obviously, especially when you don't have Imperialdramon or anything useful in the back. And then I add the Imperialdramon underneath, which is cool. And then I can go into a Imperial here and then trigger all the like effects, which is awesome. So I'm unable to really reduce the DP to delete the Commandra. Made a mistake of swinging over the Tankdra. I can only really do that with an Imperial, so I swing over the other Commandra. Unfortunately, you can't really unsuspend in this deck apart from if you ran Demonic Disaster, which could be a cool tech in scenarios like this, because you can Demonic Disaster, raise the Chimera, Digivolve into Imp, and then swing over the Tankdra, which could have been really, really good, but I'm still working on whether I want Demonic Disaster in the deck. So I open with some really good stuff here. I'm gonna grab the Imperial, obviously, and then unfortunately, once again, I can't unsuspend unless I Jogress. So I could potentially be hard dropping here. Like I could easily hard drop a Dino Bee or a Imperialdra, and then I'd end up being able to Jogress. Oh, and I do find the Dino Bee, but I take the X-Ante. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know if I thought I was gonna survive. So we pay the full 8 cost to go into Imperialdra, Jogress with the Chimera into Imp, and then I can swing over the Tankdramon because it's got Blitz. So we swing over that. I'm still deciding whether I want to Pierce or not with the fighter mode, and I don't think I do that. I think I just try to kill it. But at this point, he's got all the memory in the world, and without a Solarmon, well, not even a Solarmon, like without a Digimon that blocks the Darkness from being played with Rush for however less memory, I'm really unable to stop him, and he just goes into that and wins the game. Now, we're gonna go into game 3, and this is where Imperial pops off the most, in my opinion. This is where I seal the deal and take it 2-1 for game 3. So I go into Solarmon here, and the Wormmon gonna be the erratas. Pick a free up or Imperial, trash another one from among them, and then bottom deck. So pretty good stuff. Facilitates the, you know, the win condition and the Jogress evolution from trash. So that's really nice. Facilitates a lot of things in trash that really need to happen, honestly. Goes into Izzy, puts me at an awkward amount of memory into 2 memory, and he's obviously going to guarantee himself the 3 memory next turn, which is pretty problematic. So I swing with the Solar, no benefit off the Guri, but that's fine. We're really just trying to be aggressive here. No on deletion effects, play the Wormmon, put him to 1. Gonna get that Vmon, obviously, bottom deck everything else, and he's gonna go to 3. So I have the setup ready. He's got 3 security left. So honestly, this is where it's insane, because I can just, if with the right amount of memory, guys, and the right things in trash in hand, I can go straight into Imperial from here. Literally from here. So the tie actually saves me, putting me to 3 memory, which is amazing. And then you guys are gonna, okay, so he bricks, which is unfortunate. Luckily the tie kind of, with the tie, I think the Tankdramon was a good play, because then you have something that can go into, you know, maybe a Darkdramon, the new one, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's just another body too, actually, because then I think I only have 4 security left. So yeah, I go into the Wormmon here. This literally from 1 memory and 2 rookies, with the right things, I can go straight into Imperial and wipe the board. And I think I'm gonna do that in this. Yeah, so Wormmon swings here, dies, that's fine, we take it. Crimson Blaze, oh no, so I actually try to do that Crimson Blaze. I save 1 turn for the strat. I think my scenario, my thinking here is like, okay, the Tankdra is really good for the when Digivolving and the inheritables of Sealsdra and whatnot, but hard played like that, I think it's ineffective at all. So Haguru going to 0, gonna trash that Darkdra to draw 2, which is kind of nice for him. But there really isn't really much to set up. My aggression is very well displayed here already. So Chris is in a tough spot here. However, I think he's gonna drop a blocker. Yeah, so the blocker actually stops me, but 4 memory is a good amount of memory. And honestly, once again, with these 2 rookies, I can start at 1 memory and be fine. So I'm really using Analog Youth just to cycle and find what I need. And I do find the Imperialdramon, which is exactly what I need, especially if I have Shadra in trash or Shadramon in trash. Oh, so it looks like I have an awkward hand. Oh, I Shadra. Gonna draw and I trigger its when Digivolving effect. So I can Digivolve to a level 4 free from trash. And then I trigger the Imperialdramon's Digivolution effect, where I can choose either that effect or I can DNA Digivolve with another Digimon. So I DNA Digivolve into Dino-B. Dino-B allows me to play when Jogrist a Imperialdramon from trash. And then the end of turn effects of both Flamedra and Shadra allow me to get into Imperial. Mind you, I did have to pay the cost for the Imperialdramon evolution from trash, but everything else is pure Jogrist, right? So I'm passing 2 memory here, and then Imperial actually forces you, when Jogrist, to choose a Digimon, and that Digimon will survive, deleting everything else. And then I've got Dino-B and Pale and Tai and Piercing. So I can swing over unsuspended Digimon, get security attack off Imperialdra, get another check, and because I bounced, I don't trigger Pride Memory Boost at all here. So that's really good. I do pay the Evo cost of the fighter mode. So he does start at 4, but I honestly think he doesn't have an out here, especially since... Yep, and I hit the Crimson Blaze. So he's not even going to get to play another Digimon. Even if he had that nice on deletion Commandra, that just goes straight to the bottom of the deck. It's not going to be played by effects. And with 0 security and a threat on board, the only thing you can really do is either destroy me with Iron Fist, or... Actually, there isn't anything you can do, because I do have Wormmon and Vmon in my inheritables. So if I do get Iron Fisted or... Ultimate Flared or anything of the sort. Well, actually, Ultimate Flare will bypass this. So if I get Ultimate Flared, that is actually a problem. However, I don't think I saw an Ultimate Flare in his hands from watching this game a second time. Yeah, I think I see an Onslaught. I think he does, so he actually ends up using Iron Fist Onslaught here. And I think he lapsed, he had a little bit of a lapse in judgment and forgot that, well, I mean, the set just came out, so probably didn't know. But yeah, on deletion, I get to play Wormmon and Vmon, and that just ends up winning me the game. So pretty good stuff with the red base. The Greymons did come clutch in a few of my games throughout the tournament, but yeah. All right, you guys, so we're going to dive into the deck profile right now. Let's check it out. So, diving into the eggs here, we've got 4 copies of Gurimon and 1 copy of Demimeramon. So, beauty about Gurimon is after you Jogrist, you can trigger its when attacking effect and draw 1 if your Digimon has 6k DP or higher. So, very good, very easy to get that draw out once you've Jogrist and or gone into any level 5, and pretty good there. Demimera, if you've got another non-red card as its Digivolution card, it gets plus 1k DP. So pretty nice addition to the DP there, because sometimes you're gonna need that DP boost with Shadramon or your level 4s in order to swing over some of your opponent's low-end Digimon, just to kind of play out the game. So like you can swing over something with Shadramon, then go ahead and Jogrist, and then swing again, kind of thing. So you can get rid of multiple targets and potentially get into security. Next, we're running 4 copies of the Vmon here. And obviously this Vmon, you may trash 1 card with Imperialdramon in its name, or free in its traits in your hand to draw 2. So really nice effect. I do enjoy the free draw 2, and you get to trash your purple cards that you want to see in trash. Or for example, if you have a Pale in your hand, you can trash a Dino-B in order to trigger the Jogrist effect efficiently, etc. But I really like Vmon's Inheritable. It adds plus 2k DP if you have a purple Digimon in play. making your level 4s even. Like Shadramon will be an instant 7k DP Digimon, and that will trigger Gurimon. So that's a level 4 that's 7k, can trigger Gurimon, and can swing over 6k or lower Digimon, and then you can Jogris immediately after. So very nice niche little interaction there, but I do like that because there's a lot of low-end plays in the beginning of for as far as like you know, how the game goes. 4 copies of Wormmon here. We already know what Wormmon does. It was errated recently, so it's on play, reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 purple or red card with free in its traits, or 1 Imperialdramon in its name. You trash another card that is free or Imperial, and then you bottom whatever's left in any order. Well, it's the only card that you're probably gonna bottom, right? So that's it. All turns is really nice. While you have a red Digimon in play, it gets retaliation. So you get to protect your stack from being swung over. They're gonna have to hard remove the card once you get into your big stack, which is really nice, and I do appreciate that a lot. Next, you guys are running 2 copies of Toyagu. So this Toyagu is just a 2-cost DP Digimon. What I love about this 2-cost is that if you're at 2 memory, you can straight up end your turn and potentially Jogris all the way up into Imperial. And I'll show you the main combo right after. But yeah, very, very strong card in the deck. 2 copies of Solarmon here, and this Solarmon just there for the blue flare matchup or for any cross, like Dorbikmon will be stopped in its tracks, for example, if anyone's trying to be funny and play these really good 4 dragons decks that I'm hearing about. So yeah, 2 Solarmon, not too bad. Don't mind adding a Floodgate when I have the space. Next, we're running 4 copies of the Flamedramon. This is the counterpart to Shadramon. I'm sorry about that lack of focus. I don't know why my camera decides to give up on me. But yeah, so when Digivolving, you can activate one of the following effects. You may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play for its DNA cost, which is basically like obviously just Jogris pretty much. Or you may play you may Digivolve one Digimon into a level 4 Digimon with free in its traits from trash without paying its memory cost. So very good Flamedramon. Its inheritable is basically like the Gatos. At the end of your turn, you may DNA Digivolve, which is very pivotal to the combo. In red base, you want to throw out the Shadramon. In purple base, you want to throw out the Flamedramon. But yeah, 4 copies of that. Really good card. Next, we're running 4 copies of the Shadramon, and I do really enjoy this card as well. It does the exact same thing as Flamedramon, but it's purple. So this is one of the cards you're gonna throw in the trash because Flamedramon is what you're gonna go up in your line, go up into your line usually. That said, very nice card. I really like Shadramon. So one of the things that I get access to when playing the red base is the security +1 Greymons. And let me tell you, it's good. It's pretty good. So it just adds Sec +1. I run Chimera in the deck, so I can even throw a Greymon underneath and get Sec +1. But the cool thing about this is in conjunction with the Toyagumon and all that stuff, you can kind of just go into the Greymon and raising, hard play Toyagu, continuously choke your opponent, get in a Shadra, Jogris after, and then you'll basically have your full stack with an extra security check. And sometimes that's the difference between winning and losing, right? So there you go. Next, we're running 4 copies of Imperialdramon. So Imperialdramon has a very good when Digivolving effect. When DNA Digivolving, you get to play 1 Dino Beamon from your trash without paying its memory costs. And during your turn, while this Digimon has Imperial in its name, it gains security attack +1 as an inheritable effect. And on deletion, you just play a Vmon, which is awesome. Very cool. I really like that kind of interaction with having to play the Dino Beamon for free. Both of their effects are the exact same thing. So Dino B will do the exact same thing. The only difference is Dino B will play Imperialdramon and when Digivolving through Jogris from trash, and on deletion it'll play Wormmon from trash. So those are the only 2 differences. Oh, actually, sorry, the inheritable is a big difference, huge difference. So the inheritable actually, during your turn, while it's Imperialdramon in its name, you can swing over your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. So that's actually a very, very powerful effect and something that should be considered when building the deck and how you proceed with your plays. So I do really like having them at 4 of each. I find that they're both very important, and you need to see at least 1 copy of each in trash. That way you're kind of set for the rest of the game depending on your draws. Last but not least, we got 1 copy of Chimeramon. Obviously, when digivolving, you can add a source underneath. If you are able to do that, well, you do that from trash. You add a level 5 or lower source from underneath, from trash, and then place it underneath a source. And then for every color you have, it gets -1. Your opponent's board gets -1 KDP. So you're deleting all the floodgates, which is really nice, and most rookies. And during your turn, if you manage to get the 4 colors, you can actually get +4 KDP. That's not going to be the case in this deck. You only will really get to purple, red, and white. But the cool thing about Chimera is it helps you unbrick and Jogress safely. For example, if you just can't get Imperialdramon in trash or Dino B in trash, or you just can't draw into them, sometimes Chimera will allow you to set up your Imperial just the same or all the same. And another nice thing about Chimera too is if you've got a Dino B in trash, or Imperialdramon in trash, or a Greymon in trash, you can just add it to the bottom of the source, and then if you've got like Shadra and Flamedra already underneath the Chimera, you can hard play either of these level 5s, and then you can still trigger the end of turn Jogress effect, which is pretty cute. Next, we are running 4 copies of Imperialdramon Dragon Mode. So this is a very, very fun card to play, you guys. Super fun. When DNA Digivolving, your opponent chooses one of their Digimon. That is the Digimon that they're gonna save, because you get to delete everything else, which is super cool. Also, it gets Blitz. So Blitz is a separate clause, so you don't actually need to Jogress to get Blitz, which is kind of nice. And then when attacking, and it is once per turn, the Digimon gets +2 KDP, and you can Digivolve into a fighter mode for paying its Digivolution cost, which is really nice, like an Imperialdramon fighter mode. So the Blitz is very crucial because you're going to be Jogressing, but potentially passing turn multiple times to get into this Imperial. So the Blitz actually comes in super clutch, and it leads into the Imperial Fighter Mode. So Imperial Fighter Mode, very awesome card. It naturally has piercing, can Digivolve over a Digimon that contains Dragon Mode in its name for 2. So it can Digivolve over the blue-green too, if I'm not mistaken. And when Digivolving, you may return 1 Imperial Dragon Mode from this Digimon's Digivolution cards to the bottom of your deck to negate all security effects. It literally just says your opponent's security effects for activating for the turn. So correct me if there's an errata. I may have missed it. I'm still in the process of learning and relearning and memorizing it. But that said, like, if you can't activate literally anything, I think that's absolutely insane. And it kind of makes sense because the deck is a little bit tough. Once you get all the way up into your Imperial, you're kind of vulnerable. So I totally understand if like it just triggers absolutely nothing. I think that's fair for this deck specifically, obviously not for the green-blue. That said, on deletion as well, you get to play 1 Wormmon and Vmon from trash without paying their memory costs, and you get to resolve all their effects. Iffy on these choices, but I am playing 1 copy of Omnimon Blitz and 1 copy of Omnimon X Antibody. I actually like X Antibody a lot more. If you're able to, so the timing at which you go into fighter mode matters a lot, guys. So usually on my first Jogress, if I have slight advantage, I might not go into the fighter mode immediately, so I can put my opponent to the least amount of memory possible. And then I can fighter mode next turn and then go into X Antibody and just stop every attack, and that should seal the deal if I haven't managed to win yet. So I do like that. Omnimon Blitz here is just to protect the stack as a whole. It also adds an extra swing. And it can Digivolve into the X Anti for only a 3 cost, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of nice. 2 copies of Matt Ishida, obviously for the extra sec check, and it's a memory Tamer. We've got 2 copies of Analog Youth for the extra search, and it gets to trash 2 things. And there's a lot of things you want to see in trash. You want to see at least 1 Chandra, at least 1 Flamedra, at least 1 Worm, at least 1 V, at least 1 Pale, at least 1 Dino Bee in trash. So the Analog Youth actually does come in quite clutch. 1 copy of Calling from Darkness to bring back some targets, especially if you're trashing a lot and you're kind of trashing what you need. 2 copies of Mist Memory Boost. Very good for, once again, more trashing, but the extra 2 memory sometimes is all you need to really do whatever it is you want to do. I'm going to be honest, this deck will do whatever it needs to do with 2 rookies and 1 memory. I promise you it will do that. Mist will actually help address the memory that you do pass as a result of getting into Imperial with 2 rookies and 1 memory. I'll actually show you how that's done. Actually, I would have showed you how that would be done in the gameplay that I'm going to edit into this video, so I'm not going to show you. But long story short, you just Jogress a bunch of times and pay Digivolution costs, and then you pretty much go into Imperial immediately. And last but not least, why I run the red base and I'm testing the red base is for the 3 copies of Crimson Blaze. I think Crimson Blaze is going to be very, very, very good in this meta. And as the meta kind of continues to progress, we're going to be able to see more cool things happen. And I think we're just going to see more Crimson Blaze value unless someone starts to crack like the code or the decks with like the Trial of the 4 Great Dragons, all that stuff. But Crimson Blaze is really good against Bloomlord. It's really good against Jesmon. It's really good against a lot of cards, so I highly recommend actually like trying out the red base. Yeah, so story short, I highly recommend trying the red base out. I do hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, if there's any mistakes that I made. But I have tested this. I have played like 6 matches with this deck, and I do think that it is quite strong. So just needs a little bit more tweaking. See if you guys can crack the code. Let me know in the comments if you have. And till next time, guys, peace.